Okay, back for chapter 2. Um, I hope this works because I just recorded the whole chapter uh, a few minutes ago and I wasn't recording. Anyways, chapter 2. Um, I still haven't fixed the audio. I'm sorry. I don't have any other better mic and I'm recording this the same day. Oops, I'm sorry. Um, also I am not moving around the house as much, so hopefully it fixes the audio a little bit. So yeah, let's get into it. Mastermind Rise of Anarchy. Written by Clouds. My head in the clouds, not coming down. Read by Reed MHA. Chapter 2. Torn. How do Izuku's friends react to his arrest? Shoto was watching TV with Dabi and Toga when he got a text. Actually, it was 4 texts in a row, which wasn't that odd for Izuku, considering how he liked to ramble. But what was odd was that the typos and how cryptic and disconnected the texts were. From Izuku. I love you. Look in box under couch at base. Capital M 4 STERM 1 ND 404. Use your fingerprint too. I'm sorry. Shoto tried to ignore the slow feeling of dread pooling in his stomach as he tried to riddle through whatever it was that Izuku was trying to say. He had never mentioned a box like that before, much less asked Shoto to look into it. His first thought that it must have been some sort of gift or a surprise for him, but he dismissed that possibility almost immediately. Izuku only locked or coded things that had to do with business, and on the weird off chance it was a present, why wasn't Izuku opening it with him? So it couldn't be that, which left Shoto had no idea. And there were typos, with the exception of what he assumed to be the passcode, and the rest of the messages were either probably autocorrected or had typos, which Izuku was usually careful and professional enough to avoid. It was almost like he had been trying to text without even looking at his phones. You've been frowning at your phone for a full minute, Shoto, Toga piped up, making him jump. What's wrong? No, nothing, Shoto said quietly. I think. Shoto hurriedly clicked on Izuku's contacts and held the phone up to his ear. It wouldn't call him, right? Izuku would probably just laugh it off and tell him not to worry so much. Maybe he'd even offer to meet him up in an hour to open that box. If Shoto asked, just to humor him. Shoto stood up from the couch and paced as the phone rang too many times. Why wasn't Izuku picking up? It was the middle of the day, so he couldn't be in a meeting with a client. And hadn't he just texted Shoto this morning, asked if he wanted anything at the mall? Hi, this is Izuku. I don't know why you'd want to leave a message, but here, um, you can if you want. Bye. The pool of dread in his stomach had flooded to a full body nausea as Shoto desperately hung up and redialed. What if something was wrong? What if another villain had attacked him and he hadn't pulled out his knife fast enough? What if somebody had tried threatening his mom again? What if... Hi, this is Izuku. I don't... Shoto? Toga said, far too quiet to be normal for her. I think you need to see this. She pointed to the television screen, which now had a breaking news border at the bottom. Shoto whipped around and froze as his brain finally registered what he was watching. The words "Mastermind, finally arrested" scrolled across the bottom of the screen as Detective Tsukashi fog-marched Izuku into the crowd of reporters, and Uraraka and some of his former classmates were crowded around an ambulance in the background. Shock blankets wrapped around a few of their students as they stared after Izuku in shock and fear. Dozens of heroes and police held back the ever-growing crowd as they yelled and screamed questions and insults at the first person Shoto had ever found that gave a shit about him. Izuku's arms were cuffed heavily behind him, and he was smirking at the cameras even as the detective shoved him in the forefeet of the back seat of the police car. His clothes had disheveled, and Officer Sansa was carrying a bulging evidence bag as he followed the detectives, so they had obviously stripped Izuku of all his knives before escorting him out of the mall. How dare they? Shoto didn't even register that he was heading to the door until Dabi held him back. Don't be an idiot, Shoto. You see how many heroes there are? They're expecting us to try to save him, so you can't just storm in there with no plan and no backup. Midoriya wouldn't do that. Let me go, Shoto growled, letting flames engulf his arms to force Dabi to back off. I have to help him. Now at least be fucking smart about it, Dabi yelled back. If you go in alone like this, you'll just get yourself caught and put the rest of the league at risk too, Boot. Then come with me, Shoto panted, as a light entered his eyes as an idea occurred to him. We'll have Johnny's quirk to warp us. Shigaraki! Toga and Dabi trailed behind him as Shoto raced full speed to Shigaraki's room. The door opened curiously at the rest of the league, to peek out what the commotion was all about. Was joining the mob as Shoto slid down the hall of the hideout. He didn't even come to a full stop before bursting through Shigaraki's door, making it slam roughly against the wall. Not that he cared so much about that in the moment. Shigaraki! No. The silence was immediate. The only sound that was left was the chaotic drone of the news as it played quietly from Shigaraki's computers. He had a different video playing on each of his gaming screens, so at least Shoto didn't have to worry that he didn't know about Izuku's arrest, but that had only brought up an even worse question. Shoto's voice was laced with poison as he spoke again. Why not? Shigaraki growled and scratched at his neck. Look at all those heroes, Shoto. Do you really think we could take all of them? And if we were to use Johnny's quirk, they would still attack us before we could find the car Mastermind is in. And do you think they don't have eraser on standby waiting for us to show up? Then you're a complete and utter noob. Those cuffs they put him in, Sensei told me about them. Their quirk made to form a force field around the guy to prevent any quirks from affecting him. So we can't even use Johnny's warp to pull him out. Do you think it was the first thing I tried? Get that through your thick head, you idiot. We're under-leveled for this boss fight. So you're just abandoning him? Shoto screamed. He needed to leave, even if the rest of the league wouldn't help him. He had to do something. He could freeze the cop car, or burn it. But that would hurt Izuku, and if he managed it, Aizawa would erase his quirk before he could even get to Izuku. And then where would he be? At some point, Dabi had started holding him back again, probably to prevent him from bolting away like he had half been planning to do. Shoto held on to his brother for dear life, ignoring the rest of the league as they watched in awkwardness, pity, anger, and whatever emotion people are supposed to feel when their best friend is suddenly torn away from them. I loved him, Shoto choked out, his quirk going wild in a way that would make his father go ballistic. A thought that only made him sob harder. The tears in his left eye evaporated into steam before they could even reach his while the tears on his right eye were rapidly forming in a thin trail of unmeltable ice. Dabi didn't seem to judge him for his lack of control. In fact, the only reaction he gave to it was subtly shifting Shoto's right side so that he wouldn't get burned as he ran a finger through Shoto's hair. I know, Sho. I know. You have to have some sort of plan for this, right? Spinner asked quietly. I mean, it's Mastermind. He's planned for everything. That would make sense. Magni glanced down the hall. The rest of the league followed her glaze. It had taken several hours for Shoto to finally exhaust himself and pass out in Dabi's arms. But who knew? Who knew what he was going to do when he woke up? I mean, my Shoto's one of my best friends. Toga bit at her lip, her sharp teeth digging through her skin and making her bleed. But Shoto just lost his boyfriend, so it's even less cute. We need to save him. Obviously, Shigaraki griped. He's one of us, even if he doesn't want to be tied down to the league. He's helped us out enough that we owe him this one. And we're not the only ones. Half of the underground is in Mastermind's debt one way or another. But what are we supposed to do? Hawks's wings fluttered anxiously. At one point, he had stress gripped onto Dabi's arms, and he still hadn't been able to let go. You know that they aren't going to risk letting such a high-profile villain. He's going to be sent straight to Taurus, even without a trial. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they held the trial at Tartarus just out of paranoia that he'd try to escape. There's no way we can break in there. It's the most secure prison on Earth! Twice yelled quietly. Secure. We could break in minutes. Just let them try to stop us. There's no point in worrying about this now, Mr. Compress spoke up. I took the liberty into looking through Frieza Burn's latest text, and Mastermind seems I took the liberty of looking through Frieza Burn's last text with Mastermind, and it seems our ally has a plan. We need to trust him. It appears that he designed whatever mechanism is defending the stage to directions that only Shoto will be able to unlock them. He glanced towards Shoto's door, which is still closed tightly. All we could do is wait in the wings until a cure comes. So, Shoto had a little panic attack there. Poor Shoto. But yeah, chapter 2. It's chapter 2. I don't really know what else to say. Again, sorry for the audio. It probably is a little iffy with the quality and stuff, but I'll get working on it and stuff. So just hope I can get something figured out. Yeah, I hope I see you guys in chapter 3 and have a great day, Do something. Do something fun today. I challenge you to do that, okay? Anyways, guys, have a great day / night or morning, whatever time of day it is for you. And I hope I see you in chapter 3.